The justice of God demands the punishment for sin. That punishment was paid on your behalf in full by Jesus on the cross. All it merely takes is for you to confess your sin toward God, believe the gospel. The death, burial, and resurrection of Christ was for you to make atonement for your sin. And it's that simple. It doesn't take a magic wand. It doesn't take a whole bunch of whoop-de-doo. It doesn't take a magical ministry or thousands of lights or $1 million. All it takes is you getting on your knees at the cross. The hardest thing for us to do in our lives should be, and I say this in a loving way, the hardest thing we do in our Christian walk should be that moment of decision. Because if we can give up our lives to Christ, which is what you're doing when you accept Him, if you can admit your guilt before God and you're deserving of punishment and accept His atonement through Christ, then you've done the hardest thing in your life. You've avoided hell. You've avoided eternal punishment. If anything you have to do in your life, if your finances, if your bills, if you're good or bad, or what to do next, or how you're going to do it, if anything in your life is more difficult to do than that, you've got too much going on. But you know what's amazing about that decision? It's not hard at all. Suffer the little children to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of God. Why do you think He said that? Childlike faith. Today, only if you will place that faith in God, you'll see a change in your life. And I want to share just one last thing with you. Each choice has a consequence. And I know I've said this several times throughout the sermon, but the hardest thing to accept for some people is that God is angry. Now, the book of Romans clearly paints us at enmity with God. He clearly says to be a friend of the world is to be at enmity with God. The whole Romans chapter 8, the whole thing is about God's hatred for sin.